Hello, friends, and welcome back to Stories About Entitled People. It's not uncommon, but the most inspiring person in your life may be the one who said you would never succeed. Let's start our video with a story that proves it. Fire my grandson right now. The main story will have me, OP, entitled Grandma, EG, Cool Boss, Mike. Backstory. When I was a kid, I lived with my great-grandma, Grandma's mother, my grandparents, and my parents. My grandparents have my dad, 2 other uncles, and 4 other aunts, but they decided to live with us since my mom's a doctor and know how to take care of my grandpa after he had his first stroke 20 years ago. I spent most of my childhood with my grandpa, so I'm his favorite grandkid. My grandma always have issues with spending money. Even her own mother can't trust her. So great-grandma trusts her money with my mom instead. My grandma knows about this and hate me and my mom ever since. She keeps making up stories of how spoiled I am, how I threatened to kill her to our relatives and neighbor, even calling cops on my mom for poisoning her husband with mystery pills. My grandpa passed away 2 years ago. Turns out he had a crap ton of money before married to EG, and they had a premarital agreement so that EG have nothing to do with that money. He worked with his lawyer that this will be announced exactly 1 year after his death. EG thought that she'd get at least 30% of that money, so she spent a whole year traveling around, wasting all of her savings on traveling and gambling. When the time comes, the lawyer gathered our family and announced Grandpa's will. Note that my parents are divorced 2 years before my grandpa passed away, but still come and check on my grandpa every 2 days till he's gone. After that, she moved in with me so she can help with my newborn baby. Turns out EG, my dad, and 6 of his siblings, each of them got 5% of Grandpa's inheritance. For me and my mom, each of us got 30%. He stated clearly in his will that my mom saved his life twice, gave her full effort to help him recover without asking for anything in return, even put her own family on financial unstable. She paid all of Grandpa's treatment with her own money, and that's cost her her own marriage. And for me as a kid, my mom trained me to help Grandpa and teach me to pay attention to his condition, so if anything wrong happened, she can be there on time. I was like a friend to him. While he can't walk around, made him feel like he was loved and cared for. After EG finds out she won't get enough money to fill in her empty saving, she goes furious, screaming to the lawyer that he's lying, blames me and my mom for faking Grandpa's will and many other stuff that she can make it up. Me, my mom, and the lawyer just left. EG then travels all the way to where me and my mom live, stalking me to find out where I work. One day, she raided my office and demanded to see my manager, and she'd get to see Mike, Cool Boss. Mike then called me out. The conversation go like this. EG, I demand you to fire him now. Mike, ma'am, I need to know what he did to you so we can find a reasonable solution. EG, he threatened to kill me. He's a bad person. Your company shouldn't have him around. He's a criminal. Mike, ma'am, with all the respect, I checked his file and no criminal record was found, and I'm quite sure OP's a nice person. Do you have any evidence? EG, he and his mom stole all my money. He and his mom faking files to steal from me. I want him fired. Now! Mike, ma'am, I'm confused. So your claim is OP trying to kill you or stole from you? EG, both. He's evil. You must fire him now. Mike, ma'am, please calm down. I'll have security take you to the guest room while I'm working on this. After security escorted her away, Mike turned to me and asked. I told him everything, and he told me to go back to work. I told him this is a personal issue and I should handle it myself. Mike insisted that he'll deal with this for me, and if I want, I can go with him. Mike, ma'am, OP told me everything. You need to leave now or I'll call the police for harassing. EG, no, you don't understand. He is evil. I demand you have him fired. Now. Mike, I've had enough. You're wasting our time. Security, if she's not leaving in 5 minutes, call the police and I'll answer all their questions. OP, back to work. EG, how dare you? She screamed as she reached out to slap Mike, but the security got her. They called the police and provided them all the security footage. I came home and tell my mom everything. Next morning, police officers came to our doors and informed us that EG had a stroke and didn't make it to the hospital. My mom just shrugged and said, she came all the way to have her savings. Guess she won't need it now. And our next story.
See ya. Wouldn't want to be ya.
It was a few weeks ago that I was supervising my cashiers. I managed customer service at a certain retail chain, and I see her. Definitely a Karen. I'm already bracing myself. I'm distracted by another cashier, so I don't see where she ends up until I hear the raised voice. I look down the row of registers and, yep, she's hurling abuse at one of my girls. I go over to the other cashier, give her a tap on the elbow, the signal I use with my peeps to let them know I'm taking over and to remove themselves from whatever poor excuse of a human they've had to deal with, and situate myself in front of Karen so my cashier can make her escape. Hi there, ma'am. I'm OP. How can I help you? You people, she hisses, have gotten my order wrong. She emphasizes this by picking up the package curtain in front of her and slamming it on the counter. Oh, I'm sorry. May I see your order slip? She tosses that down too, and I pick it up and compare it to what's in front of me. Wouldn't you know it, the item code matches and, oh look, the item description on the packaging slip is exactly the same. Well, ma'am, it looks like what was delivered to you and actually what was ordered. If you just wanted to do a return, we can get that done right now. No, I don't want a GD return. I want the item that I ordered. I did the order here with you people and you got it wrong. They must have put in the wrong curtain, because this is definitely not what I agreed to buy. BS, because you literally have to sign an order to confirm that you reviewed it before it's finalized. But I don't say this out loud, obviously. People are staring at this point, so I start guiding her towards one of our desks a bit out of the way and call for a floor associate to meet us. I'm sorry about that. Come on this way and we'll get a new order completed for you and do a quick exchange with the old ones. The associate, let's name him Will, meets us at the computer and I explain the situation to him. No problem, Will says. Which curtain did you want to order as a replacement? Well, how am I supposed to know? There's a pause. Will and I look at Karen. We stare at each other. We look back at Karen. She must see something in our expressions because she adds, I just know it wasn't the one that I was shipped. Poor Will looks lost, so I try and guide things along. Do you by any chance remember the name of the style of curtain? Karen shakes her head no. The name of the brand? No. Can you describe it to us, please? It kind of looks like this one. She holds up the wrong curtain, but it's not this. Will is officially checked out and is now just enjoying the show at this point. All right, was it a different color? No. Different size? Same brand, but different style? Did the name sound similar? Anything? Anything, woman, please. No, I don't think so. Then Karen gets a grand old idea. You guys had it on display in your curtain room. It's how I did the order. I gave the worker the ticket from the display, but obviously she must have typed in the wrong code or something. I'll go back there and get the ticket again. She walks off and leaves Will and me staring after her. Should I go help her? Will obviously wants the answer to be no. No, I can guarantee she'll be back in a minute. Just hang out in case we can convince her to still do an order. Lo and behold, Karen comes storming to the desk, spitting mad. As expected, the mysterious curtain that's like the one she ordered, but definitely not the one she ordered, has disappeared. Who would have thunk it? This isn't the first time people have done this. Rants Karen, I will never shop here again. I always regret coming here. I can't believe this is how you treat customers. Oh, I'm so furious. I'm steaming. I wanted that curtain and now it's gone, and none of you know which one it is. Who's in charge here? Will, the traitor, points at me and slowly backs away, scooting himself around the corner and out of sight. Your employees are useless. This wouldn't even be a problem if she had done my order right the first time. And now you can't even find a simple curtain? I'm going to write a letter. I'm going to write about how terrible this store is. I want to know the address of your headquarters and I want to know who your president is. I sigh and walk her back to the registers, processing her return, hand her the receipt with our corporate number, tell her the name of our CEO, and wish her luck. People like this know that they're known as Karens for this exact behavior, and they still don't get it.
And our last story. Wife tries to force husband's family to sell their grandfather's cabin to buy her out in divorce. The brother of a good friend of mine went through a divorce last year. The divorce was fairly messy. His soon-to-be ex-wife was trying to get as much as she could. My friend and his siblings all jointly inherited their grandfather's cabin a few months earlier. It's situated on a private island in Canada that's been owned by the family for 4 generations. It's about 5,000 square feet and easily worth over $3 million. And their grandfather had several unexpected private offers over that value, all refused with no interest in selling. The family was notified by her lawyer that she was requesting payment to buy her out of her 1/6 ownership. Each sibling owned 1/3, and she was trying to claim half of her husband's share. They tried to discuss a few alternatives, such as giving her a 1/6 right to usage but no ownership. She declined, apparently intent on forcing them to sell it, knowing none of them could afford to front the money to their brother to keep the cabin in their ownership. Their lawyer, a family friend, did a bunch of work to find a favorable solution for them. I'm looking over the grandfather's will. He discovered that the divorcing brother did not, in fact, own any part of the island with the cabin on it. It seemed that their grandfather bought up a bunch of other islands nearby the cabin and willed them to his grandchildren separately. He only owned a small nearby island made up of rocks and gravel, not big enough to build on and not worth any money at all. Not wanting to give her anything, they made her an offer, attempting to look like they were giving her more than she deserved, with the appearance of being desperate to keep ownership of the cabin. To give her 75% usage rights of the island for 25 years with no ownership. In the offer, they named the worthless island by its legal land title name. She made a counteroffer which was identical, but she wanted to add her rights to rent the island out for profit, and she wanted choice over her time allocation, which she drafted in the offer. They agreed. Apparently, her new boyfriend was more interested in the cabin than the money. They mailed her a set of keys for the cabin. They were keys for a master lock to their life jacket storage box on the dock at shore, as well as a fake key with a bright yellow floating foam keychain to give her the impression there would be a boat available to get to the island. They allowed her to believe her deal was for the cabin's island for quite a while, as the divorce was still not finalized. Her first weekend with the island was a long weekend, and she invited her family out along with her new boyfriend, a 400-kilometer drive. They were greeted by my friend's dad and their lawyer. The whole thing was planned by the lawyer, who I'm fairly good friends with. He tells me that her family was stranded on the island for hours as they'd hired a barge to ferry them over, and they waited until the barge left before going over the details of what she agreed to. He says she attempted legal action once more after that, accusing the family of fabricating the will after the fact. Apparently, her lawyer dropped the case before it even started.
Hey guys, thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next one.